Hi guys, welcome to the third edition of the Femina Grazia Virtual Beauty Carnival. I'm Henna Desai and today we're being joined by a very special guest, Manushi Chillar. Manushi is an actor, model and the winner of Femina Miss India 2017. Other than making her mark in mainstream media, she's also doing a lot to uplift women and change the narrative of beauty. So of course, we're very thrilled to have her here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm just going to dive right in without wasting too much of your time. You've been on a platform that celebrates beauty. And as women, as actors, you would know that beauty is meant to uplift and make you feel good.
Yeah,
But are unrealistic standards and expectations creating undue pressure of women, especially in today's age of social media?
I think, the definition of beauty has changed over time.
Yeah.
And what I understand today is beauty, what we consider beautiful is usually, we talk about it a lot in pageantry. It's more about redefining beauty. And whenever you talk about redefining something, there aren't any rules to it. Yes, with social media and technology, you have Photoshop and you have filters, which which kind of we can say that it can create a certain kind of pressure when it comes to looking beautiful, especially on young impressionable minds. But I think we all have to understand, especially like we all use social media and we all know that there are filters out there. So you need to understand the fact that this is different from beauty. This is not beauty. It's just something to enjoy. You can enjoy a filter. You can enjoy, whatever it does to your skin or whatever it does to your face, whether it makes you look more chiseled or whatever. But that isn't beauty. And I feel like for young girls and boys both, to understand that the truth of social media is very important, and at the same time understand that the perception of beauty will always change. There'll always be some new trend that'll come in, and there'll always be, so that'll keep changing, and you can't always, like, I think instead of trying to fit into a box that has been created by others, just create your own box and just be confident. And I think confident people look the most beautiful, and I've always said that on various platforms. But there is pressure on how you look, because I think everyone wants to look great.
Yeah.
But I think understanding the fact that not everything you see is real. Not that doesn't mean that it's bad. I mean, it's not
You
bad.
just need to
There to
know the
enjoy, but
distinction.
don't overindulge. I think
Yeah.
enjoy it, but don't indulge.
Don't let it affect your mind.
Yeah.
You touched on a very important point right now, which is about how trends come and go and what's in tomorrow won't be. I think that that's something that people are understanding largely, and we are moving away, like from stereotypes. There are women of color in beauty shown. There are larger, bigger bodies, curly hair, different colored skin. We're seeing all of that. But do you think that we're truly inclusive yet, or do you think we have a long way to go?
I think I feel like since you spoke about women of color, I feel that yes, to a certain extent, especially in India, or like in certain Asian countries, there has been a certain trend. I mean, we have been a big market in the past for I hope not anymore, but for fairness
Yeah.
creams and
Yeah.
whitening products. But we have to realize that globally, and I'm saying this because I have been at that platform and I have seen women from all over the world. It's not true globally. Every society has a different way of looking at beauty, and there's no one way to define it. We've had supermodels, we've had Victoria's Secret angels and beauty queens back in the 90s who have been women of color. So
Yeah.
it's I think globally what we have to understand is that beauty has at some level been inclusive, and it's getting better. I think today that people recognize the fact that you cannot just kind of have a set of rules that define who is beautiful and who is not, which is amazing. I mean, we have models who are are appreciating and are accepting the fact that they have a different body type,
Body
and
type,
people
yeah.
are accepting it as well.
Even Victoria's Secret, like if I'm not mistaken, has just started using models of all shapes, which is very new for them.
Well, I think Barbara Palvin was there first, but
yeah.
I was looking at Barbara Palvin. I think I'm the same size, and I said, that is not.
It's not.
But it's good. It's good that people are talking about it and people are recognizing, because at the end of the day, when you talk about the glamour world, there's always a product that they're trying to sell, and understanding your market and understanding what your customers or your clients want is something which the beauty industry is doing very well now, and there are all kinds of people. Beauty comes in all colors and sizes, and I think just kind of more having a more realistic approach towards it is helping today.
Coming to approaches and this situation that we are in, has your approach to personal beauty, your personal beauty routine changed in lockdown? And if yes, what are you doing these days?
When actually this is the second lockdown, when the first lockdown started, I had like a proper 10-step skincare routine, which I didn't have the time for earlier. And eventually I got lazy. I think this lockdown, I've been quite lazy with my beauty routine, but it's a very basic routine, not very different from what I do otherwise. But I think the one thing that has really changed is the fact that I don't have to wear that much of makeup, because I'm home and I'm not that much in front of the camera anymore.
There are days where we miss wearing it also, but I think overall we're all thankful to not put in so much effort.
I think sometimes I really miss, dressing up and just like kind of, looking like a little different.
Like I was actually looking forward to this chat today, because I was like, oh, my foundation's going to come in use today.
I was looking forward to, I thought I'll at least get to do some makeup for this.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I mean, I think that's exciting, but obviously it's also comforting that I don't have to do it every day.
True.
Because when you're shooting, you're almost doing it every day. So I guess that's a little change. But to be honest, my beauty routine, I've gotten very lazy in this lockdown, because I've just suddenly realized that I have time to do other things, and I think
so it's minimal. Can you tell us what do you do? Like basic.
It's very basic. It's like a morning. It's your basic, your face wash, a toner, moisturizer, and then SPF. And then I think at night, now that I'm not wearing makeup, there is no micellar water that I use. But usually if I'm wearing makeup, obviously I use that to take it off. And then again, there's a cleanser, and there's like a night cream. And I think that's pretty much it. Like not too complicated. I know that a lot of my friends keep suggesting like different things that I should try, different serums, and but I think this is the regular.
You're happy. You're happy where
this is the regular that I kind of stick to, and then sometimes I might try something new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, we've like lockdown one, like you said, everyone was very enthusiastic about doing lots of things, including working out, which we've actually, like, I've spoken to a lot of people who've reported they were very active through the first one.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like, oh, what's the point? What are you doing to sort of keep yourself motivated and keep your fitness routine going?
I think if lockdown was a person, they would be really disappointed, because we're not taking them seriously right now.
Anymore.
But yeah, I think during the first lockdown, it was obviously much longer, and I hope this isn't as long. I mean, but at that time, yes, I was like, we were all like enthu cutlets. We're trying to like do everything, and I was working out a lot. I discovered a lot of home workouts, and they were actually quite effective. I kind of really enjoyed just using like a staircase, or and
getting innovative with your equipment.
And that's when I realized that workout and exercise exercise isn't just about working out at the gym for that like 1 or 2 hours or whatever time you spend at the gym, but it's actually kind of maintaining a certain kind of lifestyle which is active. Sure. And you can be active indoors. Yes, there are days when I feel very lazy, but that's okay. Rest days are important too. So I think it's the same thing. The first lockdown was a prep. Kind of now I know what to do, and I know so I think I do look forward to working out. I am working out. I'm still trying to maintain a routine because I don't want to lose a routine. So it's like Saturday and Sunday, just like chilling,
And then be rigorous through the
at
week.
home, and then Monday to Friday, like making sure that I take out time to work out.
A little disciplined.
Yeah.
That's all about physical health. You've also been a huge advocate for women's health when it comes to menstrual hygiene since a long time. Can you tell us a little bit about Project Shakti that you're associated with and what you're doing?
Well, I think to currently with Project Shakti, I mean, right now when there is a lot of chaos, and we've not seen a really good time in our country.
Yeah.
So menstrual hygiene is something that is being neglected, of course, but physically it's not really possible, and it's not the right thing to be doing right now, to be exposing the entire team to physically go somewhere.
Yeah.
But it would always be about, the first step is always spreading awareness. So you go to a community, you speak to them, you understand what the issue is over there, because everywhere, even in India, not just across the world, but even within India, every place that we would go to, we realized that the reason why menstrual hygiene was not being practiced properly, there were different reasons.
Yeah. Majority,
Maybe
I'm
like a
sure,
village in
lack
Punjab
of,
had a different
yeah,
reason to a village in Uttar Pradesh.
lack of amenities would be one big thing which you would have probably spotted.
Yes, actually, if I talk about when I started this project, I mean, I actually started it by spreading awareness. I didn't have much resources back then. I was in college, and that's when I realized, when I spoke to most of the women in Haryana, because that's where my college was, it was inaccessibility. Because there I realized that lack of awareness wasn't that big an issue. It was inaccessibility. So there we tackled it by making it more accessible. But there are different places, like you had different issues in different places. But right now the whole idea is we're trying to tackle multiple problems with one solution. Of course, we go to a place, we spread awareness about it, but we also, I'm working with people, with an organization called Akar, who've made India's first 100% compostable sanitary pads. Because if everyone starts using sanitary products on our planet, then it will become uh, one of the biggest reasons for our environmental degradation. And I mean, today environment has become such a big debate in itself, and what we always thought would happen over the next hundreds of years is actually happening now.
It's the need of the hour to be a little more careful.
Yes. So what we do with these sanitary pads is, and they're as good, I mean, I've used them, they're as good as I use them. They're as good as your normal product in the market that's available. So we, right from the packaging to the absorbent to everything that's used, is 100% compostable. So now when you say biodegradable, there's a long time period in which it's actually going to be broken down. But when you say compostable, it actually it's a better,
just takes days as opposed to years as it would have.
And it's a better take. And it's a better approach towards being environmentally conscious. So we use like natural fiber, which is available in the Northeast. We were using jute. In Kenya, you have a lot of banana leaf fiber. So we use natural fiber instead of using plastics. And even like and we employ women from the community, so it's also creating employment. And whenever I always believe, like when I started this project, is that whenever you're employed in a certain sector, the awareness bit and the taboo bit becomes a little easy, because people who are earning a livelihood from
a particular thing, you're not going to look at it as a bad thing. That makes sense.
And
that's actually a very smart approach, if I may say so.
I think you can't fight a system, you can't fight a culture. I don't believe in that. I believe in providing a solution and let people choose for themselves. People are smart enough to choose for themselves. And so that's what we do. We use this pad, and the whole idea is to bring it into the urban market as well. We're trying to do that. I mean, we were trying to do that before the lockdown. It's kind of slowed down because of
situations.
But hopefully, I know women who've used it and they've loved the product. I mean, it's not only great for our environment, but it's not as expensive as the normal product. Again, another issue.
Another plus point.
A lot of women face. And so it's generating employment. We realized through this system, people of the community are actually the ones who are creating this pad, and they're the ones who are buying and using it. So the economy in a way is plowed back into the community, which is which we felt that it is a sustainable system to, for
Yeah, and
now.
it allows even your consumers to sort of be a part of the change by buying,
True,
investing in things that
true,
are helping the ecosystem
true.
financially and otherwise.
And I feel like, it's very easy for you to go and provide, maybe distribute packets of sanitary pads, which is great. Initially that's what we did because we wanted them to get used to the idea and understand how much better this product is than, using a rag or using sawdust or anything like that, or
Yeah.
cotton. But at the
A
same
lot of which is also very unsanitary, which we don't
yes, yes.
realize. Yeah.
But at the same time, what we realized is that you can you I mean, it's something which is exhaustible, right? You
Yeah.
have to provide a system. If you actually want to create a long term change, you have to provide people with a system where they can help themselves rather than just helping them by
Here it is, and now,
yeah,
the minute it's over,
yeah,
you don't know what to do.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's one of the initiatives. The other thing that we've seen you sort of associate with is Orange the World for against gender violence that you're doing with the UN. Take us through that a little bit if you can, and tell us how it's meant to help.
So I think Orange the World by UNICEF is an initiative to kind of help women, speak up and recognize any signs of violence. Of course, during the pandemic, people have
It's been
lost
an increase.
jobs, people are at home, and it has taken a toll on their mental health. And I'm not saying that women are the only ones at the end of receiving violence, but most of them are women. I mean, I think we should all agree about that.
There's a larger percentage,
Men are also subjected to
considerably larger.
men are also
Yeah.
subjected to violence, but it's a considerably larger population amongst the women. And I think it's a great initiative because when it comes to domestic issues, I think awareness and speaking up is the first thing.
Yeah.
And through this initiative, everyone nowadays uses social media. It's a great way to reach out to people. So we're using social media to kind of reach out to people and to encourage women to speak up, to come forward, to recognize that they are being subjected to violence, because mental health has become a big debate today. People are kind of, they've lost their jobs, they lost their livelihoods.
There are lots of touch points of
Confined to one
frustration.
space.
Yes.
And usually, all that tends to affect the lady of the family the most,
Yeah.
if you. So I think it's an initiative where we want women to come up, to feel confident to speak up, and to seek help as well. Recognize the issue, feel safe to speak about it, and to seek help.
And like you mentioned that a larger population of this is the women. Through just initiatives like this and talks in general, how important do you think it's to sensitize men also towards this? How important is it to educate them about all of this and make them aware?
I think any issue is never a man's issue or a woman's issue. I think
Yeah.
that's where the actual issue starts.
Yeah.
When you start recognizing as something as this is a man's problem, that's a woman's problem. I think just talking to people, well,
As a community.
as a community, if the lady of the house is unhappy, how can everyone else, family is one unit, how can everyone else in the family be happy?
Yeah.
I think both men and women need to be sensitized towards every issue. It's never, nothing is a man's problem or a woman's problem. And and even if I feel we should stop treating people differently, like, based on their gender,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to issues in the society, because society is comprised of both genders equally,
One world, one problem.
and more and more.
Yeah, that's what, one world,
Yeah.
one problem. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah. So I think talking to everyone, I mean, I'm going to take the example of menstrual hygiene because that's a
Yeah.
very typical woman's topic, how
Problem.
people
Yeah.
treat it. But I think that it's something very natural, and whenever there are issues which women are facing more, I'm not saying that there are issues that only women are facing, but when women are facing those issues a little more than men, it's okay for men also to recognize that. So speak to everyone, and from a young age. I think certain schools do a great job. I remember when I was in school, we were given, every year we had workshops on
Yeah.
we had workshops on safety, and we had workshops on menstrual hygiene. And so I think that really helps, instead of like just putting the girls in one room and talking to them about the girl issues and
Separately and
boys in another
creating
room.
the divide at a
Yes,
very early
yes. I
age.
think at a very,
Yeah.
yeah. So at a very early age, at a young age, if you're able to, if you treat children equally, irrespective of their gender, then I think they're
They
able to
will grow
recognize
up.
it much better when they
Yeah.
grow. Yeah.
Okay, then that brings me to the last question of our chat. We spoke extensively about how you said about frustrations and there's lots happening. The news to a certain extent is nothing but depressing. I mean, I don't blame, I mean, that's what's happening. How do you cut off from the negativity? How do you shut down and practice self-care?
There's a saying, ignorance is bliss, but in this kind
Yeah,
of condition, in
you
like when
can't.
this situation, you can't really ignore.
Yeah.
I have seen so many people, I know people who are close to me who've not only been critical, but who have actually lost their lives. And there are so many people, friends of mine and relatives, who've lost people in their lives. And I think it is a very different situation. You can't really compare it to a bad day that you would normally have, because it is
Yeah.
a pandemic and we are going through this. But the only option right now is to go through it rather than trying to fight it, because there's nothing that you as an individual can do. Just be
Can do.
responsible.
Yeah.
Try to be a responsible individual. Follow the rules and the norms that you're supposed to follow during the pandemic. Help as many people as you can. I think this lockdown, all of us have been a little busier than the previous lockdown, because the impact was a lot more.
Yeah, it was
But
chaotic to
but
help.
even if you do not have the resources to help, but if you can connect to people who can help each other, so I think that in itself would be great. And just kind of keep sight of what is important in life. And sometimes it's important to understand as that there's a difference in being aware and being indulgent to the news. I think be aware, know what's happening in the world, be responsible,
Shut
but
off
at
somewhat.
the same time you should know how to kind of put it into a compartment and not let that affect your mental health. I think uh, it's yes, it is saddening, and it's heartbreaking to see what has happened to many people. And I think everyone has had a different degree of loss. I can't compare ones to another's, but this too shall pass. You kind of have to be strong and get through with it. um, just just kind of try to be stronger, and try to kind of practice mindfulness to be in the moment, and just realize
And
that
how
it
are
is
you
helpful
sort
that
of,
you.
sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm done.
No, I was saying, how are you sort of doing that? Like, what is your idea of like switching off and enjoying your me time right now?
I think right now what I'm really enjoying is painting.
Oh, nice.
I used to paint as a child, and I used to love it. And I think the lockdown has given me the opportunity to do that again. Of course, before the lockdown, I could professionally learn it a little bit. But I think that's one thing that I really, really enjoy doing. And that's one thing that really keeps me centered. And yeah, so that's something which I'm getting to do. And apart from that, just kind of I was reading about mindfulness actually a few days ago, and it just spoke about how being in the moment is so important.
Hmm.
And yes, I think have empathy, have uh, do feel the pain that others are feeling, and I'm sure all of us are suffering in some way or the other, some more than the others. But at the same time, kind of treat everything that you do as a miracle, because I think that will somewhere help your mind uh, believe that there are good things too that are happening. you are
Yeah.
you are safe in
Gratitude.
your house,
Yeah.
practice gratitude. Whatever you're doing, kind of just be in the moment. If I'm here right now speaking to you, I mean, I want to be thinking about that, it's a great opportunity. I'm talking to you, I'm getting to
Yeah.
speak to, someone and talk about something. And at the same, so yeah, I think just being in the moment and practicing a little bit of mindfulness might help. Yeah.
Great, that's great. We've also enjoyed chatting with you, and
Yeah.
today that's going to go in my gratitude book. So thank you so much for taking our time and doing this with us. Thanks for
Thank
joining,
you.
and
Thank
I'm
you,
pretty
Hina.
sure all of our readers are going to love watching this chat.
I hope they do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.